Hello everyone, this is Pause for Parenting, brought to you by PAREDOS, Parent Education for Development in Barbados, and this radio station. I'm Christopher Clarke Richmond, Director of PAREDOS. PAREDOS is a non-governmental organization established with the primary goal of addressing the challenges faced by parents and families in Barbados. Assistance is provided through a wide range of programs, which include classes in parenting designed to educate parents in all aspects of child-rearing practices to help them to positively impact the lives of their children. PAREDOS promotes strong, cohesive family life, which includes working towards life goals, imparting values to promote positive family life, and practicing work-life balance to include entertainment, reading, play, and to bring balance to life. PAREDOS also provides private and confidential individual and family counseling. These sessions are designed to assist clients to identify the root problems affecting them. Our other flagship program is the Community Outreach Program. We will be happy to assist your organization, be it a school, place of employment, church, community, or sports groups, to talk to parents and young adults about parenting. Call us at 427-0212 or email us at admin@paredos.net with your requests. We also offer a parenting class where you can learn how to keep your child involved in positive, wholesome activities. Classes are held on Wednesdays between 4:30 and 6:30 p.m. and Saturdays between 9:30 and 12:30. November, the month when we celebrate our independence, we celebrate our own and things Barbadian. We at PAREDOS are no different. During this month, we are going to feature parents who I know will inspire and even challenge you to rethink some of the thoughts you have on what it takes to be a parent. So please make sure you tune in every week. First up is a past PAREDOS parent who happens to be a single dad. His name is Christopher Clarke. Christopher is an operations manager at Serenity Cleaners, founder and president of the Stepping Stone Foundation. He's also a former vice president of the PAREDOS GEMS PTA and now ambassador at large. Christopher, welcome.
A pleasant good afternoon, Director Richmond, and it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for agreeing to come here and share your story with us. Now, your son is 6, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. So tell us, how did this whole situation of you becoming a single dad, how did this happen?
Well, I must say that when I got my son in 2014, he's now 6 years of age, I had some reservations. I was wondering how I was going to deal with another child.
Okay.
And what came back to me was my mom. My mom has 6 of us, 3 girls and 3 boys, and I'm the last. And immediately I said to myself, I am sure my mom was thinking, how will she raise 6 of us? And well, I'm a 1990 baby,
okay,
or what they say, a 1990 model, and I'm sure she has some sort of reservations about how was she able to handle some 29 years ago another life, and that inspired me to say, hey, I am going to be the best dad that it possibly can be, because if my mom could have done it 29 years ago, and of course I'm sure the economy was a certain way up and down, and so I tell myself, hey, I'm going to do this, and that motivated me. Looking back at my mom and how she raised us and so on, that motivated me to say that I can do this too, through ups and through downs.
So how many children you have?
I only have one, right, son.
Okay. No, because you said in terms of another child, so I was just trying to understand clearly.
Well, I am still young, so you never
There's
know.
more to come.
There's more to come.
Okay. So what was you? So you had your son from the beginning? I mean, from like baby?
Yes, please. And even before baby, from that embryo stage, right in the womb.
Okay.
And I would have talked to him and ensure to let him know that, you know,
You're
that
there.
is here. That is here. And from that bond all the way to now.
Okay, well, obviously your son had to have a mother. In terms of that decision when you decided you were going to physically, you know, take care of him, not just come and visit, but he's going to physically live with you. How did that whole process happen? Was it an easy thing for mommy to accept? Was she okay with it? How did you negotiate this decision?
When his mom and I were in a relationship, of course, relationships have their ups and their downs. And I find that we were disagreeing more than we were agreeing. And for the best interest of every single thing, we came to a mutual understanding and said, look, we're going to go our separate ways. I must tell you, Director Richmond, that my concern was with the child. I asked myself a couple of questions. How would the child respond? Would this affect the child for the rest of his life? And how would I cope dealing with work and dealing with other affiliations and so on? And I said it all came down to what is best for the child. Hence the reason not only you end up at PAREDOS, but hence the reason we look at it to say, hey, this is what is best. And the disagreement I found, how we choose to respond to it, help us to enable to even raise what I will get into later, dealing with present. Finally, I didn't want any judge or jury to decide for two adults. I don't really believe in that process. Where yes, the system is there, I appreciate it, but it didn't come to that. Nor they had no reason to come to that. We are both adults and young adults, and we said, look, for the best interest of the child, this is what we will do. And of course, how he ended with me per se, because I'm the one who was pretty much stable, having my own home and so on and so forth. So that was pretty much an easy choice. Yeah.
So how was the process in the early stages from a baby, you know?
Good. So the baby, we were together still in terms of living together under one roof, and I said anything after 3 years. Because that is when the child can tell me, Daddy, my belly hurting, or he wants something to drink. And of course, breasting will be
very important.
Very important. And he will come into that stage where he's going to go into preschool and so on, so you're able to move away.
Okay.
So I waited.
Okay.
Being how caring and genuine I am, I waited, and then we decided to say, hey, all right, when he reached I was 4 years old. That's when we said, okay, that's when we would go our separate ways, and we tried that, and then it worked pretty good. I must tell you that I find he clung to me more so because he was so accustomed to three persons behind in the bed. So when he turned, is either left or right, he in the middle. So he was a little uncomfortable with that in the beginning, but he's now get accustomed because, of course, as he grows older, he now he have a better understanding of how things work and so on. So he's very much understanding.
But mommy is still obviously a part of his life.
Of course. Every day she see him almost every day. But of course I collect him and pick him up and pamper him, nurse him, everything in one.
Nurse him?
Yeah, nurse as it relates to any cuts. If he needs to do sometimes I must tell you, being a parent is not 1, 2, 3. I'm sure most people knows that. And let me give you a primary example. You have to get into work for 8:30. You take the shower. You come out, you dry, put on clothes, and then your infant tells you, I need to use the bathroom. well, there's some of us who, when you use the bathroom, want to go and bed again in that process. So all of that, all of that, you take into consideration and say, "Whoa, it isn't easy at all." Because had I guess it's had mommy there, so you could say, all right, well, you handle that, and then maybe whatever. But
everything is at you.
Everything is at me.
But looking back now, he's 6 years old. In terms of how far you would have come, what would you say would have been the biggest challenge so far?
I find the biggest challenge so far is answering the question, why mommy isn't there.
This is from.
And
other persons on the outside?
No. I yes, from my son.
Okay.
Being in the inside. I'm not in the outside. People form opinions, adverse opinions about you, regardless of what.
Right. What do you tell him?
And for me, is like, son, there's this simple mantra that I carry, both in my personal and professional life. It's part of a process. It's part of a process. When we go into the bathroom, it's part of a process. When you go to school, it's part of a process. Mommy and daddy is no longer together, it's part of a process. And he will smile and chuckle and then run along
and go on to something else.
Go on to something else until when the rains fall, then you come back in. Oh, I miss daddy, I miss mommy, and so on. Yes.
Yeah. But how would you say, in terms of, are you satisfied that your answer right now is the best answer for him? Yes,
I'm very much satisfied that this answer right now is the best answer for him right now, until I find that he is ready to handle a more other response. But there's nothing negative, there's nothing out of the ordinary, and even more so, I show him that despite mommy and daddy is not together, you still love, I ask him all the time, who are the kinds of people that impact the world? And he said to me, Daddy, those who listen, those who are obedient, those who are kind. And I say, yes. So then he said to me, so Daddy, that is why you be kind to mommy? I say, yes. That's when mommy want a ray, you give her, yes. That is why we could still have lunch together, yes, and so on.
Well, you've had a very unusual response to this whole situation, because we know it can also go 100 degrees in the opposite direction. I'm sure you would have seen some different circumstances in terms of mothers and fathers.
And as I said from the beginning, my mother has 6 children, 3 girls and 3 boys, and I'm the last. So therefore, having seen my brothers and sisters experience some similar on the negative side, I say, you know what, the best way to handle this is on the positive side. Unite and love.
But how do we get parents to understand that whole thing of the best interest for the child, which means that even though I cheated on you, even though I don't love you anymore, even though we have a child together, and we have to find some way to come to the table and sit down and decide what is best for this child?
That is why I mention what is best for the child, and is not for a judge or jury to work out who should get what. I am of the opinion that 2 adults should be able to sit down and have a conversation. This comes down to temperament and a level of maturity. And I find people say to me all the time, well, Chris, you are one of a million, you are in the minority. So how do you deal with that majority? Those who are angered, those who you don't have a conversation with them. And that's why I said there's a system in place where you have to go to the road to judge and jury, fine. But for those who have that temperament, for those who are willing to understand and say, hey, let me leave my emotions, let me leave my feelings away from it and just deal strictly with the interests of the child, then I believe that 2 adults can have a conversation.
Okay. Is there a network of men that you go to, that you relate to, or is this who is your village?
Well, I was born and raised in St. Patrick's, and of course I would have had a lot of mentors coming through St. Patrick's, and they would have helped prepared me for this journey, and no easy journey either, nor no easy advice. They would have given me the hard truth, when it comes to save some money, youngster do this, youngster do that. And my response also to that too is that I believe that God give each and every single person their own race to run, because each and every single body experience is quite different. True. Each and every single body experience is quite different. And had not for the grace of God, I believe that the grace of God is what kept me throughout this journey. Mm-hmm. People ask me how I'm able to remain so cool and calm and nothing don't faze me. I believe the grace of God. And when others turn to alcohol or drugs and so on, I try to turn to the gospel music and just try to meditate, or conscious music, mm-hmm. to try to help me relax my brain and then go back at it again. But a typical day for me is you get up in the morning, you do breakfast, you do some cleaning. I don't leave the house nasty. And then you go to drop them off to school, you pick him back up, you go back to work, drop it off with granny, you come back in, you do dinner, and you clean, you brush his teeth, you bathe him, bedtime, you do a little work in between too, and especially now, where's the online classes,
yes.
I feel like I'm the teacher now.
Of course.
And so it is more of diving in and saying, hey, we're doing this, we're doing that, and getting him to understand. And the positive of that, of the online, is it helps parents to see where your child is at. And for those who really care about their child, they can say, hey, okay, I see where the weakness is, and let me as a parent play my part, what we call the role of the family.
Was there any time that you ever doubted that you made the right decision, or you was, like we pull a hair out, you not have a temper tantrum, but like, what am I doing?
Of course. There are many times when there are odd moments or strange moments, and you tell yourself, look, did I really make the right choice? Should I have done this? Should I have done that? But as I said, I believe that everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm. So how has this changed your whole idea, your thoughts of what it takes to be a parent? Before you had your son, now you're 6 years into it, you're raising him by yourself. How has your whole idea of parenting changed?
Good. I remember a little before my son born in September 2014, I went into the barbershop and all of my friends were there, and I said to them, fellas, this was one of the last times that you'll see me out like this, because I'm now about to become a father. And they thought I was kidding. Mm-hmm. I said, fellas, it does not mean that you will not see me anymore. Mm-hmm. It just means that I now have a greater responsibility. And so step one was the frame of mind, getting that mental shape, saying that I'm in this. And when the baby born, when my son born, I remember upon a night I held his mom when he was up. I couldn't give him breasts, only she could, and I would have held her from behind and said, look, we'll be in this together. And that continued all the way through. So it's the mentality, and then you have to say to yourself, I am responsible. I can do this. And give yourself some motivational quotes and so on to let you know that don't give up. Don't matter how tough it is, don't matter how the road gets up or down, you don't give up. Because once you have that mentality, once you have that willingness, trust me, you can achieve whatever.
When persons that you meet, they hear that you're a single dad, what are some of the reactions that you get from both men and women?
Well, let me start with the women first. I must say the women first and first. Help? Yes, they always say, "Wow, I always admire a man who takes care of their children." Mm-hmm. And then how to see how we are together and how we instill the manners, and you pass but you didn't, and they will stop him and say, well, somebody's here, what you say, excuse me, dad, pardon, and the girls just being awe, and then they want to, of course, they want to come in, and I don't want to expose my son to
And everybody.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, going on that line. In terms of the males, I must tell you that, especially for my birthday, I get to see and appreciate the love. Whereas a lot of my male friends said to me, Chris, I really do admire you as a man, particularly as a father, how you are, and you are my role model. I know 2 of my friends who, when they were in school, they wrote 2 compositions about me. And they said, Chris, you always was my mentor. You always were my role model, and I look up to you. I remember at PAREDOS, when I served as vice president in the 2018-2019 committee, I remember saying to the former director that I would like to do something for men in particularly. And we started this initiative called Dad, I'm Proud of You. Yeah.
What do you think are some of the reasons that some men find it difficult to step up? Not necessarily become a single parent, but step up to the responsibility. Because that's what it comes down to in terms of being a dad. And what would you say to them?
I find that some men don't want to step up because of 1, their lifestyle, 2, influence of friends, perhaps family members as well too,
or perhaps their own experience too,
and perhaps their own experience, and then 3, the nasty, ugly composition between the parents and so on. All right, so I find those 3, and of course it can be more. That is why I find that men don't want to step up. What I will urge all men to do is be a part of your child's life. Whether your mom don't agree or the family might not want he or she around, I find that having some sort of contact, the child have some sort of appreciation. For me as a man, it feels good to know that, I can see my child move from infant all the way to junior, all the way to adult, and to be part of that in some way. I think that is a good thing, and I will continue to urge all men to get involved in their child's development.
I think that the whole idea of you may not be able to give the financial support depending on what's happening, but the understanding that you still need to be a part of that child's life. If it means that you go and take him for a walk, or you Zoom with him, whatever, the physical contact, be verbal, needs to be there, and men need to understand that they can still be a part of the child's life, even if they can't, buy them the moon, whatever, but they can still, talk to that child, let them know that I still love you, I love you, I maybe can't take you this place right now, but daddy cares about you, daddy is here for you. How do we, talk to me about that, and that presence, in the child's life.
So having that presence in the child's life is very important, and it comes down to that one word, love. And I will make this point that we have to be responsible, and we have to shape our mind to say that this is what we want, this is what I'm willing to do. Why the child, and especially mothers, give up is because daddy sometimes are half-hearted. Daddy comes halfway, or they do it once, then they don't do it for a long time. They're inconsistent. So we have to love and be consistent with that love.
Agree. When it comes now to, in terms of, if you had to do this all over again, would you do anything differently?
Of course. There's no easy answer to choosing a partner because I don't really believe that you really truly know a person. But that will, of course, will be step 1. And then in terms of, that will be step 1. And then in terms of how I do some things internally and at home, such as knowing that now there'll be a support system, the pressure it will be even, it will be shared, right? So of course things will be different because there will be another person. Yeah.
Oh, the whole idea of preparing, because I know, looking back for my own self, you say you're married and you fight and you think that you're in a house, everything is going to be great, whatever, but you don't really know, obviously, what is going to happen, you know what I mean, in terms of when this child comes in, how it's going to actually change your life. And I think maybe if we explore that some more before we get to the stage when the child is actually there, because our parents didn't really talk to us, you know what I mean? You took a lot of things for granted.
And since we're in the month of November, you know what, there's that Bajan saying, come live with me, come see me do their things.
Exactly. Yes. But I really do commend you, though, for the step that you've taken with regards to your son. And when I see the two of you all together, I know that there's a very strong relationship there. And I commend you the fact that you recognize that he still needs to have a mother.
Of course.
Regardless to what. And the whole idea of, this child didn't ask to be here. And I need to do my absolute best for this child no matter what. And that best may mean that I need to speak to somebody, reach over the line, even though you may hurt me, or you've done me wrong, there's a child here that we need to work together.
Yes.
And provide the best environment.
Yes.
for that child. So Chris, I really do appreciate, I'm going to give you a couple more seconds just to wrap this all up in terms of speaking to the men especially, but parents in general, in terms of your experience of what it is like to be a parent, and what do you want for your son in the future?
Thank you so very much, and it was a pleasure of mine to be a part of this program. I will say that I will urge all men, regardless of where you are, what might have happened, be with your child, love your child, and show consistency. I would like to see my son move away from he have the manners down back, which I was instilling him. I just want to see him now grow and blossom. It's seeing that tree spring up from the ground for the first time. You see those wings, those leaves and flowers open up. I just want to see that continue that progress, and I hope and I pray to God that I'm around to see him grow as a man. I really, really hope I can see that.
Christopher Clarke, I salute you. Thank you so much. We hope that as you listened to this broadcast, you have benefited in some way and feel motivated to apply the information to your parenting experience. Once again, we at PAREDOS thank you for listening to Pause for Parenting. Remember, parenting is all-encompassing. Parents are their children's first and foremost teachers, guidance counselors, and nurturers. You are responsible for guiding and nurturing all aspects of your child's development, including their cognitive and educational development, as well as their social skills and emotional thinking. I leave you with these words of encouragement. Children are a gift from the Lord, a heritage and a reward, and are not to be seen as burdens. So train your child in the way that he or she should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. I wish you a blessed and productive week ahead.